Hello, hello. Good evening, everyone. How are you doing tonight? How are you doing tonight, guys? Are you ready for year end? Are you ready for 2024 or not yet? Almost one more day on November before we had December, and then almost Christmas, New Year, all these great stuff. I'm gonna talk today about bookkeeping because why? This is the time you want to ensure you have bookkeeping done correctly for your organization, for your business. Whatever it is you're leading, you need to have your bookkeeping done. Why? Because you are going to be planning for next year, hopefully, because if you're not planning for next year, when you're not planning, then you are planning to fail. And I don't want you to fail. So I wanted to talk about bookkeeping because I talk about a lot about bookkeeping, even though when we work with our clients, we don't just do bookkeeping. We go a step further. But bookkeeping is very important for everything. If you want to plan, if you want to measure your success, like how successful was that project, how successful was that month, how successful was this year. So bookkeeping is the uh, establishment, is the backbone of anything you want to do for your business or organization. You want to make sure you have a good bookkeeping system that you're using. You want to make sure you have a good person who's doing your bookkeeping, at least reviewing your bookkeeping, someone who is knowledgeable of your industry, who communicates with you, but you have to be responsive. You have to communicate as well. So the person who's doing your bookkeeping is not gonna like babysit you, right? You have to be actually responsible for your finances. You have to ask questions. You have to request those meetings. You have to actually make sure you are engaging in a service that provides you that. Because if you want to actually price shop, you're not going to be able to get the value that you would get if you are acquiring more services. So let's talk about bookkeeping. When I ask a prospect, especially when we want to do their taxes, ask them, okay, have you been doing bookkeeping? Often I get the answer of, yeah, we have everything recorded through our bank accounts. We have a bank statements. Well, that is not bookkeeping, unfortunately. How many times you would go to the bank account and check if there was any information like you look at the transaction and you find that transaction that you have no idea what was it for. How many times did it happen to you? It happens a lot, right? It happens a lot because what information that actually transaction gives you? Not so much. Unless you are doing this recurring and like this, you have to pay this every single month, you probably forget. Plus, bank statement is not acceptable by the IRS. If you get audited, that is not a valid statement, right? Like this is a backup for your bookkeeping, but it's not your bookkeeping. So just having transactions on your bank account, credit card account, that is not bookkeeping. It just having transactions in an Excel file, that is not bookkeeping. This is not going to serve you if you get audited. This is not going to serve you when you do your taxes. Your accountant then has to guess. Even if you're doing like those on your own, like your taxes, hopefully you don't. But if you're doing your taxes on your own, you're going to have to guess. You're going to lose a lot of deductions. You want to lose a lot of opportunities. If you want to acquire a loan, to make sure you have good line of credit, to have a mortgage, to have a loan, whatever, like dealing with a financial institution, you won't be able to maintain that or to get that. Because why? They're going to ask you for financial statements, which mean your profit and loss and balance sheets. These two documents are necessary to do any of that. And if you haven't been doing bookkeeping, you won't be able to provide financial statements. So you will lose a lot of opportunity. We've seen that when PPP loans like was and came during COVID, a lot of people did not have bookkeeping, so they had to run. And it's so difficult to get that done when the time everyone is going to want that. So you won't be able to actually get that done as fast as you want to because everyone else wants to do this service. You would lose your place online. You will get less opportunity. So being proactive on this thing, especially like bookkeeping, is really, it's not up to you to do bookkeeping. It's a compliance work, meaning if you don't do it and you got audited, you'll be in trouble because you don't have bookkeeping, and that including your record keeping as well. You need to have all of that in place. You need to have a good system to protect yourself, your organization, your business when you do this. Also, if you want to do planning, tax planning, planning for next year, determining your KPIs, all of these stuff, you need to have bookkeeping. It's just the minimum you should have. It's as important as your marketing, as important as turning the light on in your office if you're using an office. It's as important as having a laptop or a computer system or internet if you are working from home. So it is really important. It is essential. It is required. It's not up to you. So when you budget for your business, you have to make sure you actually include that in your budget, and it's really necessary. And don't price shop when it gets to that. I've seen a lot of disasters with bookkeeping. People are paying extra taxes and having over reporting or under reporting just because bookkeeping has not been done the right way. So basically, what do we do when we do bookkeeping? I'm just going to give you like a quick run on what's exactly the step we do and when we're doing bookkeeping. So I'm going to talk about like using a software because this is actually the best. You can choose whatever software you want to use. Feel free to use anything that you're comfortable with. Now, I personally recommend QuickBook because a lot of people use QuickBooks. So if you want to change accountants, if you want to actually get someone to help you with, a lot of people using QuickBooks. Plus, it's really improving every single month. They improve their features. They're up to date with the technology game. So it's good. I know some people use Xero. I haven't used Xero, so I cannot speak of that. And all my clients, like I use QuickBooks for them. I know a lot of people use Wave. Wave is just very basic, but it's better than anything. I mean, nothing, better than nothing, but it doesn't have a reporting capability like others. So I recommend always like QuickBooks, but feel free to use whatever you feel like you are more comfortable with, like, but consult with someone who you want to work with. And if you would like to work with me in your bookkeeping, feel free to book a call with me. I would love to help you. If you are on Instagram, you can book a call, the link in the bio. And if you are on YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, feel free to actually book a call, the link on the screen. So you can go ahead and book a call and we can talk on Zoom, and I'll make sure we see how can we help you, and then we'll see if we are a good fit. Now, let's talk about like what we do when we get the software. So let's say you have a bank account and you have a credit card, right? So a lot of people have more than that, but let's say you just have these two, one credit card, one bank account. Well, first step we're going to do is set up your chart of accounts. And I get a lot of questions about chart of accounts. Basically, this is a map, not literally a map, but it's just like accounts and with accounts numbers. And what does it? For example, you purchased office supplies. That is an account in your chart of accounts, office supplies. Payroll, that is an account in your charts of accounts. income from the sale of your program, or if of anything, any product, water bottle, for example, that is an account in your chart of account. Advertisement, that is an account in your chart of account. So that is what chart of account. So we set this based on your desire to see how you want um, to see the report. How detailed you want to look at the numbers. Do you want to see each product sell alone, which I recommend, of course, or do you want to actually see just revenue overall? If you're a nonprofit, do you want to see donations for each program alone, unrestricted, restricted? And let me tell you something here. In a nonprofit world, you have to actually report for each program alone. You cannot report the expenses, the income. It has to be each one alone. You cannot really like combine them. You can see them combined, but you want to make sure they are detailed as well, because this is a requirement. You get audited. If you want to have an independent audit based on you state your URN and the requirement for that state, you want to keep that in mind. So you want to see what the way you want to actually see the reporting. And usually when we get new clients, we have a meeting and discuss what they want to see. We make sure we establish the chart of account, and this is the first step. Second step, what we do is link your bank account and your credit card, because remember in the beginning we said, let's assume you have one credit card and one bank account, and that is what we're going to connect. And this is just for your bank statement to synchronize with the software, so it can feed into that software. Once you do that, every month or every week, rather, it's better, it depends on what's the service you have, or if you have someone at your end doing those transactions, just taking care that categorizing the transaction or not, you want to actually categorize those transactions. Sometimes we do it for the client, but we need to know what is this for. Especially in the beginning, we have to have a lot of communication on that. But then once we know your business, we know like what you spend money for, unless there's something new, we're not going to ask you. We're going to assume this is just the recurring payment unless you told us this is something different. We rely on you to keep the receipts and invoices. This is your part. We can help you in building a system for that, but it's your responsibility to keep that in place. So we want to categorize each transaction, saying, okay, this is actually office supplies, this is advertisements, and so on and so forth. After that, by end of each month, when you get the statement of the credit card or the bank accounts, we get that statement and we compare it with the transactions for that specific month. And the way to do that, you have to categorize all the transaction and make sure they are either matched or added to that month, and then we can compare. This is reconciliation. So we reconcile your accounts, and it has to happen for each account. So if you have a bank statement and a credit card statement, each one we have to do this for separately. So we do the bank statements reconciliation, for example, now in November. We're going to do November after you get the statement, and then we match the transactions that we categorize with what's in the statement. And that's it. We make sure that is matching. And then we finish that reconciliation and we go to the next account, which is, in our example, is credit card. So we do reconcile credit card the same way after categorization. However, one thing we want to pay attention to, credit card does not end at the end of the month, right? So you might have to accrue some expenses if you want to see the numbers for those credit cards. It depends on the type of business or nonprofit. So that's what we need to get done. So that's going to be closing the account, making sure everything is accounted for and its period. What I mean with accrue, for example, you're gonna get the credit card for example, in the middle of the month, right? So instead of ending November 30, it's gonna end November 15. It can be any other day, but we're gonna use that example. So November 15, we're going to actually have more expenses until November 30. But if we get the number and the reporting only until November 15, our financial statements is not going to be accurate because we're missing half of the month for for what is it? I'm getting some messages and distracting me, so excuse me for that. Sorry about that. So you're getting half of the month missed. So you need to actually record those transactions. And, with the credit card, you can go to the online account and figure out like what you did to make sure you accrue for these so you can have accurate financial statements for the month of November. So that's basically what it is. And after that, you will have an accurate profit and loss and an accurate balance sheets. That is your financials. So every single month you have to go on and do the same process. That is bookkeeping. It's not hard, but it's not easy. It takes a long time, but if you do it month by month, week by week, it's going to be easy. You don't have to do it, of course. You need to focus on what you're doing. What's your business? You have a restaurant, focus on that. What's your business? Do you do coaching? Focus on that. Have someone else who knows this game to do your financials. Hire someone who can help you with this and advise you on what you need to do next. Simply hire a bookkeeper, an accountant, a CPA based on the experience they have. So it's up to you who you want to hire. I would love to work with you. So if you don't have someone to do your bookkeeping yet, I would love to be on a call with you to see if we can help you. If you have not been doing bookkeeping yet, it's not too late. You can start doing bookkeeping now, and we can do a cleanup for the entire year so you can file accurate taxes, whether you are a nonprofit, a business, whatever, any type of business, you need to do this. So reach out, book a call, and we can help you do the cleanup so you can do taxes on time. Because guess what? If you do taxes on time, you can then focus on the current year so you can do better. Because if you don't, you're going to be having this open file in your head saying, okay, I have to do the taxes for last year. I have to do the taxes for last year. And that's going to prevent you from focusing on the current year. You're living on yesterday. You cannot live on today. And today, so help yourself, help your business or organization, and make sure you actually plan for your success and focus on the now and just do your bookkeeping, do your taxes on time. We are actually starting to take new clients for taxes as well. So feel free to reach out, book a call, and I can talk to you about that. If you want to lock in the rate that we used to have for 2022, because everything actually is rising the price, all the cost of business is rising up. So if you reach out now, we're going to give you the price for 2022. So reach out now, and I would love to talk to you. Taxes, bookkeeping, anything you want to work with, I will be happy to work with you along with my great team. And talk to you later. Have a great night. Bye.